We got some data. We've seen where everyone's form is, and I think there wasn't too much of a shock value. Yes, Charleston not qualifying, but we kind of knew that he might be hurt. But everyone else, I think you can't really take much from it. Yes, Curley lost. Yes, Lyles ran well. Yes, Coleman got beat. Yes, Seville ran a really fast PB. But I think overall, there was no big game-changing realignment of who is the alpha in the men's 100. What do you think? Should we go heat by heat? How do you want to break it down?
We can do it heat by heat if you'd like to. That's totally fine. Let me.
Yes. So heat one.
Let's look this up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heat one of the men's 100. We had Zharnel Hughes runs well, 10-0, beats Ford of Jamaica, 10-01. Yeah, I don't have any commentary. Do you have any commentary about Zharnel Hughes?
No, I do not.
Yeah, he did what he's supposed to do.
Good.
He has the fastest time in the year this year. He runs 10-0, gets the big Q, moves on. All right, heat two. This was exciting, seeing Noah Lyles versus Ferdinand Omanyala. Man, Omanyala had an amazing start, and Lyles had an amazing close. But Lyles, that close is great, but he's got to remember he's running 100 meters. He's not running 200. And eventually, you're going to run out of real estate. What was your thoughts?
You took the thought right out of my head. If he wants to medal in these championships, the start has to be on point. And of course, this is the very first round. You can get away with little things here, right? But you would think, I know for me from running experience, each round I'm working on tactical things, right? Because you're programming yourself and your brain and your rhythm to continue that momentum into that final. And if you're doing sloppy things in the beginning, now you have to be very, very intentional going into that next round. And so I feel like for Noah, yes, we all know he can close. That's very evident. He came on late the last, again, that 50 meters was just unbelievable. However, we're talking about the shortest race on the track, on the outdoor track. That start has to be on point. He cannot get left in the blocks. So I'm looking to see what he does in this next round. Hopefully he cleans that part up, because in that final, you know, there's so many rocket starters right now, especially on the U.S. side. You're not going to be able to medal unless that start is down and on point. So those are just my thoughts from Lyles' race.
Yeah, his reaction time was actually faster than Omanyala's. Lyles' reaction time was 0.142. Omanyala's is 0.149. But the difference wasn't the reaction. It was that first 10 meters.
It's the power. It's the power.
Yeah, and you could argue Lyles maybe was just thinking, this is round one. I got a long championships. I don't need to be doing anything crazy. I'm going to take it really easy this first 50 meters. I don't want to hurt myself. Just cruise. I'm going to be fine. I mean, the third place guy that he had to beat is, I don't know how to say his name. It's Curley from Nigeria, ran 10:17. So he was going to be fine no matter what. And he probably knew that. Right. So he was like, all right, I can have a bad first half and still cruise. But Omanyala looked good. Lyles looked good. But we knew that. So we didn't really learn anything. The two guys who looked good continue to look good. Heat three, we're going to skip. Heat three was a Charleston heat. Gets fifth.
Yeah.
There was rumors that he hurt himself at relay camp. Kind of makes sense now. Runs 10:18. Wasn't really ever in it. It's kind of wild. The USA champion doesn't get out of the first round. It shows how good USA is at sprinting. That our champion can't even get out of the first round.
It's tough.
What does it? Does that show that USA is good at sprinting if your champion can't make it out of the first round? I guess it shows that we're not good at sprinting, right?
Technically not good at sprinting. However, like you said,
is this a bad look or a good look?
I feel like if rumors were not circulating, that Charleston was hurt, then yes, it looks bad. But because there's been questionable things from relay camp, you're kind of like, okay, 10-18.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It seems like we always have this. There's always like one American who like runs really well at USA's, or is one of who just like either false starts or just doesn't make it to the final. Because every year USA should have 3 men in the final. We will probably have 3 men in the final because we had the bye with Curley, but it is kind of a bummer that Charleston didn't have a chance to do what he did at USA's and see how it lined up against the international guys, because he was beating the Jamaicans in certain like invitational races. He was beating these other guys. It's not like he only raced Americans. He should have been a top 5 caliber guy, but just, man, timing of injuries, it's the worst.
Yeah.
4, Heat 4, Tobogo. I was Tobogo ran kind of slow. A lot of the top guys were all running 10.0s or 9.9s. Tobogo, who we consider one of the potential gold medal type guys, running 10.1, I think was a little iffy. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you
like you said,
think it's iffy, or what do you think?
It's also the first round. You know, you just kind of alluded to it. Like some of these athletes, they're just trying to get by. It's top 3. Just do your warm up, execute what you need to do. Peace out. So I don't know. It's tough because it's the first round. Now, if we have this conversation again later after the semis, then that's a different ball game. You know what I mean? But it's tough with these first rounds, especially with some of these athletes that have it, 3 of them to go through. First one, you're just trying to get through, shake the cobwebs out.
He's the only one, though, who ran 10.1 or even 10.0 high that was in that category of potential medalists. Like Seville, Lyles, Sembene, Omanyala, Coleman, Curley, Hughes, and Tobogo were the ones that we looked at, and Charleston technically, but he got knocked out, were the ones we all considered as one of those 7 or 8 is going to win the title. And so for Tobogo to be the only one of that group to not run 9.9 or 10 flat, I do think, yes, it is first round. I do think, though, that it means something. I think it means something.
What do you think it means?
I think it means he's not winning. That's what I think it means.
Okay.
I think it means he could screw up and not make the final. I think it can mean that.
I still feel like it's too early. Again, I'm just trying to line up, get the job done, and leave.
It's never too early to have a take, though. It's never too early to have a take. All right, men's Heat 5. This was the fun heat. Fred Kerley, Oblique Seville. There was a DQ. Favor Ashe got DQ'd. Sorry, said his name wrong. What were your thoughts on that one?
Well, first of all, this heat took forever to go off. Like, it felt like 20 minutes. But again, they were having some technical difficulties and there was a DQ. It was just like everything that could have happened, happened. And the way that Seville just got out aggressively, and even with Fred Kerley, it was remarkable to watch. And I think this might be an early take, but I feel like since Fred Kerley is looking to defend his title, I really consider him being the favorite going into these championships based off the whole entire field besides Christian Coleman, who we'll talk about in a moment. He looked the sharpest. Completely different than what we saw with Noah Lyles, right? Like Noah Lyles reacted, didn't have the most powerful start that we're used to seeing. Amazing finish. Curley's was the complete opposite. Got out aggressively, looked strong, cruised, and then pretty much jogged across the finish line. So that tells me with his time that he ran of 9.99, with him putting on the brakes the last 20 meters, he was, and you just saw him take his spikes off before, going, through the mix zone and everything. Like, he looked the sharpest. And Seville really looked amazing too, from Jamaica, running a 9.86. And I think he was out there ready to set the tone and being like, okay, I am a competitor. I am someone that's willing to get to this final, and he potentially could be a medalist. And he really made that statement early in this round. So I think Fred, in my opinion, looked the sharpest, just how tactical he looked and just how he positioned that 100 meters.
Yeah. Seville ran well. He ran like he ran young. Now, he has had the experience. He got fourth last year, so there shouldn't be like he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to make a final. He's a medal threat. He's a gold medal threat. But for some reason, it didn't feel like, whoa, watch out for Seville. He just beat Fred Kerley. It just didn't have that vibe. It had the vibe of Seville, you're good, but Curley seems like he's sleepwalking and just runs 9.9 sleepwalking. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I agree.
Now, our friends in Jamaica might think otherwise. They might think like, hey, our boy Seville, we're back. We just beat the world champion, Mr. Curley. I'm like, Jamaica should know. You should not brag about prelim wins and semifinal wins, right? I'm sure there was a couple times an American beat Bolt in a semi or a prelim, and all the Jamaicans were like, calm down, calm down. You just, it doesn't. Congrats on winning the practice round. So, but yeah, both Curley and Seville look good. They're both gold medal contenders. Heat 6, Marcel Jacobs sneaks in, but this
in of his
he was third in this heat. He runs 10:15, a season's best. There was talk of like, I saw some tweets about clap backing at people counting out Jacobs. I'm counting out Jacobs. Jacobs is not going to do what he did at the Olympics. He's not in his true form. Jacobs wasn't running 10:15 season's best in the first round at the Olympic Games. He was a much better runner then. He's not going to catch 2021 magic. I think he's going to get knocked out in the semifinals. There was nothing here. Now, if he came out here and ran like 10:03 cruising, then I'll be like, all right, watch out. Jacobs is timing his season right. But 10:15 season's best. I just don't think he's 100% his full self. So I very, very strongly don't believe he's going to advance past the semifinals.
I don't know about you, but he almost looked uncomfortable. Like, it didn't look confident. It didn't look like he had fluid in his form. It looked very forced almost, and not aggressive, but not in a good way. Like, he was forcing this 100-meter time to come out. It didn't look comfortable at all. And I feel like it's going to take a lot for him to get out of the semifinals into the final round. He's going to have to have the best race of his season, of his career, essentially, to get into this final.
Just to make the final. It would be incredible if he made the final. I don't think he's going to. And then last, Christian Coleman, Simbene, both run well, 9.97, 9.98. Get the job done there. Again, they're two of the guys of the group of 7 or 8 that we all think can win a medal or even gold, because even though Fred Kerley is the defending champion, Curley is not out there running 9.8s every day. So we do think there's a chance that Curley could lose, and Simbene and Coleman are both potential candidates. So both look good. That's what you want to do. You want to look like you're cruising and you can run 9.9 or 10.0 just without any effort. And we really will get an idea of who they are in the semifinal tomorrow. I'm all excited. We get the finals tomorrow, which is just like, this is great. We get it tomorrow. Don't have to wait. This conversation of who the fastest man in the world is, it's just going to be over. We have 24 hours left, and then we finally will know. I'm excited for that debate to be over. What were your thoughts, though, on that press conference quote where people were asking Noah Lyles about his 9.65, and then Curley said, if you're going to run 9.65, that means I'm running faster, or something like that. and then Lyles
I'm all for it.
chimed back. What do you?
I'm all for it.
Do you want to hear my opinion?
I would love to hear your opinion. Yes, Gordon.
I think it's staged. I think they're just performing. Obviously, there's that news of the Netflix show following Noah Lyles. I think Curley's doing what he's doing because Curley is one of one. He does what he does. But I think Lyles is performing for the camera. I think he's performing for the documentary, and I think he's just trying to give good sound bites because his producers are saying, "Do this, be like this, say the thing. We need action," and that's on his head. That's what I think. I think
totally
it's fake.
Disagree with you on that. I feel like Noah, similar to Fred Kerley, has a huge voice, and he's not afraid to use it. And I feel like he's going to back up what he says. Like, he already made the statement of the times that he's shooting for at the World Championships. We all know that. It's been public. And I think Fred was just saying his two-piece and how he felt. If you're going to run 9.65, I'm going to run faster than you. I'm beating whatever time you think you're going to throw out there. I don't think it's staged. I feel like these two are
Again,
really,
I don't think Curley
really getting at
staged.
it.
I think Lyles is saying these things because there's cameras on. That's my opinion.
I don't think so. Disagree.
But do you see my point, though?
Putting it out there. I see your point, yes.
Okay.
And I also think it's just probably poor timing because, with all the cameras being out. But I really think this is the true Noah Lyles. Regardless if the
Noah
cameras
Lyles
are on or not.
Hey, he's backed it up. He is who he is for a reason. He's broke Michael Johnson's record. But he is not – he is still cosplaying as a 100-meter runner. He will not be viewed as an elite 100-meter runner until he gets at least a medal tomorrow. He is one of the all-time greats in the 200. You could argue second best 200-meter runner ever. But he's not in the top 10 of 100-meter runners ever. So in order for him to start being in that conversation of 100 meters, he would need to win at least silver or bronze, probably even need to win gold and run a 9.7 or 9.65, like you said. So he has the ability, but it's still a question mark. It's still a question mark if Noah Lyles can be a 100-meter runner. There's zero question he can be a 200-meter runner because obviously he's probably the second best ever at it. So, but I
You know what thought just came into my mind?
What?
I remember when Fred made the transition from being the quarter miler to the 100 and people thought he was crazy. And then boom, world champion.
Yeah, but I do think there's a difference. Like, yes, you're right. But not everyone does that. There are some people who make the transition and it doesn't work and we just don't hear about it. We only hear about the success stories. You don't hear about the...
Very true.
So, and I just think there's too many good 100-meter runners right now because Zharnel Hughes could win. Simbene can win. Coleman could win. Omanyala could win. Curley could win. There's so many people that hey, no one can prove me wrong, and I'll eat crow. I've eaten a lot of crow on this podcast, so I'm getting comfortable with that diet. My stomach is being able to handle the crow now. First, it was giving me indigestion, but now I'm good with my crow eating. So we'll see.